I just was sitting in a gratitude meditation, and it's like as I was so grateful for, it's like beginning to find myself again, come back to myself again, reunite with myself again. It's like pour unconditional love back into oneself, to heal oneself, to love oneself, to find oneself, remember oneself, all these things. Just being so grateful for that, like having my connection, and it's been a long, slow process that will forever be, but how can I explain? They started showing me as like a rug that they had to beat the dust out of, right? It was like I had picked up so much dirt along the way. And when we do that, we dislike ourselves even more, right? And so then we like succumb to the darkness or the dirt. And then it's worse. It's like you just keep tumbling down that way. And so there was layers to this one. So then it's like, also forgiving oneself, right, for ever allowing such things, and it does have you like look at why, right? Like, why would you ever do that? What were you thinking? Seriously, what were you thinking? And then it is sad, right? Like then you go through such like, it's so sad that I was so sad or so hurt or so like would allow such stuff. Like it just, and so it's been quite the process to like, it's like the idea of like cleansing oneself. It is like beating that dust out, that dirt out, those old memories, actions, behaviors, like all that stuff that it's like, what the fuck was going on? What the hell happened? And, but then also forgiving oneself, like understanding it and seeing what was going on and then forgiving yourself. And, so I was giving gratitude for all that and helping me get back to me and whatnot. And, they flashed something. It was fairly quickly, but it was along the lines of something along the lines of we can all change, where it was like they had brought some people to the forefront, and I have been like shaking out repulsion of behaviors and actions and things that just were not aligned with me at all. And yet, because I was topsy-turvy, and so I was seeking outside myself. And the more you're outside yourself and the more you're seeking outside yourself, the further from yourself you become. And it can get horrific and quick. And this is like the crawling back through hell to get back to you. It can be challenging because you're like, oh God, I can't believe I came down this alley. Oh my God, now I have to go back to get back. Oh God, right? Like it can be, oof. And, so I was like shaking some of that out and like really like, it's almost like re-traumatizing sometimes. So be careful with all this. I'm just telling you what was, don't, and then like thanking the universe for like beating that dust out of me, like cleansing me again. And I'm trying to get there because it happened so fast at the end or at this point that I don't know that I caught it all, where it was this idea of forgiving oneself and loving oneself and letting that go. Like maybe that's it. Stop beating a dead horse. Like you've already shaken it out. It's okay. You've already forgiven yourself. You've already beat yourself up enough. It's okay. It's, you got that dirt out. And you still have to do your daily cleanings, right? It's like I vacuum my rug all the time because the one rug just seems to collect so much, or maybe it's releasing so many fibers. I don't know, but it seems like it's always, anyway, that's not the point here. So, what is it? What were you showing me? Right. And so forgiving me and I was thanking the universe for like helping me through that. And like, how can I explain all this? They were showing me as like clean and whole and the dust was beat out of me. And then it's like I threw myself in the dust unnecessarily. And in seeing that, and then seeing them have to beat the dust out of me again, it was like I was so grateful they were willing to, or wanted to, or were able to, this kind of thing. Because it's like, oh man, I would be so furious with me too. Like all that hard work to cleanse you, and then you had the the gall, the gumption, the tenacity, how dare you go throw yourself in the dirt after you were just beat clean? And so like, I was so grateful for that because I was so repulsed by so many things too. And so then it was like, oh my God, like you really are unconditional. Like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, I fucking learned my lesson this time. And, like all this stuff. And what I'm trying to get around to is like, we really do have to forgive ourselves, but mean it, right? It's the idea of just like when somebody else comes to apologize to you and then they never change the behavior, then they're just manipulating you. So don't manipulate yourself. Don't apologize to yourself and forgive yourself, but not learn the lesson, because then you're just gaslighting yourself. And it was all of this. But what they're trying to get me to bridge right now, and I'm still having, it's like we want to offer that to others too, right? Again, it doesn't, every case is individual. And I'm not saying invite people back into your life, but it is acknowledging that you too have changed and they too can change. And it's like sometimes when we've healed ourselves and we're, it's like cleansed and feel more back to ourselves and better and all these things, we can more easily offer that kindness to others, Now, again, it's like you still have to have your wits about you and your discernment. And again, it's not about necessarily inviting certain people back in, but it is forgiving them. And it's always for you when you forgive another. But that's not the point here. What I'm trying to spit out is when it's earnest, like when it's really from your heart, you really have done your healing and you can extend that forgiveness to them. Again, you've already done that in your heart or you wouldn't have gotten that far. But my point is sometimes the other person needs to hear it is what I'm trying to spit out. And so when they can feel it or see it or understand that they too are forgiven, even though they have to do their own process and even though you might not be inviting them back into your world and even though it may not be amends per se, it can help them start their own repair process with themselves, right? So sometimes offering that grace or that kindness, and truthfully, earnestly, you mean it from your heart, and you, it's like you verbalize it is what I'm trying to spit out, because sometimes people need to hear it and feel it and recognize and see like, oh, you really do forgive me. You really are okay. You really are. And it's yes, 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 yes. And again, it's like, that does not mean you can come back in and wreak havoc again. That doesn't mean you haven't changed. Maybe you have changed and you wouldn't wreak havoc again. All these things are fine. Yet that's a separate issue, right? Like that's something else. Where let's say you're like, no, I totally forgive you. I totally get it. We've all, been there and will likely be there again. And so it's okay. And you do offer that grace, that kindness, that forgiveness. And you can move along if that's what the decision is. And that in itself might allow somebody to start loving themselves. That in itself might be like, oh, wow, if that person can forgive me for what I was putting out towards them, then maybe I can forgive me, right? Like sometimes others are more horrific to us than they are even to themselves, and they know it. It's like they're letting their pain out on you. They're venting on you. And so then when you're able to offer that, it's like they can open up their eyes and be like, oh, wow, I have work to do, right? And that's good. That's good. So then they can hopefully start working on themselves and loving themselves and seeing why they feel the need to vent onto others or harm others or control others or all these things. Hopefully they can start to really release that from their body, their mind, their souls, to start rid it in healthy ways, to transmute it, to learn from it, to grow from it, to get themselves unstuck from those behaviors. That's the idea of art, right? Any form of art that works for you is to release that pain and turn it into power, turn it into something beneficial that can help others heal themselves, love themselves, recognize themselves, witness themselves, to see themselves, see who they truly are and see who they've allowed themselves to become. And that can be good or bad, right? And it's like, sometimes it's that shock or that jolt, like, who have I become? What happened here? And other times it's like, wow, thank you for allowing me to bloom into who I am, right? Like, it's really loving yourself, but also being honest with yourself and taking a good hard look and making sure that your life is going and rolling in the right direction. And if it's not, I always say slam on the brakes. I know other people say just let it drop, but you'll figure out what works for you, where you're at. But I think it's important to start taking the steps and the measures to reroute, right? To pivot as needed, to get yourself back in alignment, back in your truth, back in what's feeling good and true and right for you, and making sure you're clear. I know I always say that, but because for the longest time I was doing things that were not honoring me, but I was so familiar with feeling good when others felt good, like that I was pleasing them, that it was like I was seeking for others' happiness, reaction to me to get me to feel good versus just feeling good to feel good, to loving me to love me, to honoring me to honor me, to stand in my truth to stand in my truth, right? Like, not for any other reason, because it fucking feels good. And it doesn't matter if anybody else approves or not. What matters is, do I approve? Is this right for me? Does this feel good for me? And it was like that disconnection with myself had me very unclear and murky, and I was moving from that space. And so that's what I mean by it's really important to get clear, because so many people think of course you know what feels good. No, a lot of people don't. They're so disconnected from themselves that they don't recognize what they're doing is based on stuff outside of them. And I think it's important to reconnect with yourself so that you're not based outside of you. You're based inside of you. You're back in your feeling body. You're taking up space. You hear people say this in many different ways, but I think, it's like really reuniting with you, your heart, your truth, your knowing what truly feels good for you. And if nobody else in the world saw, heard, knew anything, it's irrelevant. You'd still be doing this because it feels good and true and right for you. And really getting back into that space. Like, what do you want and why? Like, why does that feel good for you? What are you looking for? What are you seeking? All these things. Anyway, I think I got it out. I think the one thing they really wanted me to share was during the gratitude practice, and then how unconditional love has forgiven me many a times for stuff that I had a really hard time forgiving myself for. But because unconditional love was able to forgive me, it allowed me to start forgiving me and loving me again, and seeing and showing me. And we can do that for others as well, right? It's like when you can hold that space for them of of forgiveness, right? Not unforgive God, no. But of forgiveness, like really forgiving them, and moving along. It might be the jolt or the wake up for them to start loving themselves too, and forgiving themselves, and doing that work. Okay. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.